Hi everyone, it's Louisa. Welcome to Unlock, to the show that decodes companies. Today I receive Peter and Jona from Kraft Heinz and we'll talk about their EMEA trainee program. But first, let's start with Pitch Me That. Hi Jona, hi Peter.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
Very good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Hi, Jona, you are Supply Chain Development Lead EMEA.
Indeed, yeah.
And you came with one of your colleagues, Peter. And Peter, you are Head of Talent Acquisition EMEA.
Exactly.
So Peter, you know that you'll have to pitch Kraft Heinz in what minute?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm very ready.
The countdown is on.
Good.
When
Yeah. So, we're here, of course, for the EMEA trainee program.
Yeah.
So if you're a super ambitious and driven candidate, trainee, someone who wants to move fast, someone who likes different experiences, someone who really likes to get to know a company from within, get to know different functions from within, but also work for some of the most iconic brands out there. If all of those answers are yes for you, the Kraft Heinz program, trainee program might be a right fit for you. Kraft Heinz is the fifth largest food company in the world. We have great brands. Of course, Kraft and Heinz are very well known, but also very locally. We have very local brands. In France, Benedicta. In Spain, Orlando. In the Netherlands, Honig and Cardon Sevitam. Great brands. So if you get excited by this, keep watching.
All right. Less than 1 minute. Congratulations, Peter.
Thanks.
Today you're looking for young talents to train them as they can be a part of the team. So we'll see what kind of profile you're looking for and also what do you offer to that young talent. We'll see that in details. So first of all, what is Kraft Heinz EMEA trainee program?
I'll pick up that question.
Yeah.
It's our graduate program. So when people come from uni, from college, they can enter this in our high potential program. It starts with 4.5 months. That 4.5 months start with sort of a FMCG bootcamp where you learn every different function. So you learn marketing, you learn people, you learn finance, supply chain. So you really get to know every function. Then you're going to do a 10-week, 2-month project. Really a problem we have. So I had a trainee last time, I had a problem, I wanted to innovate my process, a trainee helped me with that. Then you present that project, the best project will even present to the global CEO. Then you'll have a field sales week where you really go on the field, really see what it is to be on the floor. And you'll have a leadership week to get to know the leadership. And then you start your first function. So then you really start your first job at Kraft Heinz.
And for that, are you looking for a specific profile or university background?
We do look for a university degree, but for backgrounds, we have very different backgrounds. We have engineers, of course we have business students, but also people with a psychology background, philosophy, psychology. So the main thing is that you have a degree and you have an amazing drive, an amazing ambition to get the best out of your career.
And how many positions do you have for this trainee?
We aim to have around 45, around 45 spots. If it's a bit over, a bit under, that's okay, but our aim is 45 in the whole of EMEA.
And few words about the hiring process?
You apply,
Yeah.
of course, like normal, then we check, do you have a degree? Do you have working rights in the countries that we're looking for? And did you graduate like 1 year before? That's the only thing we check. Then you get biometrics tests that test social, cognitive and behavioral traits, which are compared versus people in our current business. So you really see if Kraft Heinz is a match for you. You can't really fail on that test. It's just, is Kraft Heinz a match for you? If that's the case, you go to a video interview. You do an interview with an actual trainee. You do an interview from someone with the business. And if you pass all those rounds, you come to one of our assessment days where we assess you all day, and it ends with interviews with actual people from our EMEA leadership.
And you hire after this internship?
We have, in our internship, we have a couple of internship programs as well in different countries. If we see really interns with a very big potential, they get the fast track into the assessment day.
All right. Jona, what kind of position do you take after the trainee program?
So after the trainee program, usually a trainee would start in a junior position. close to the interest that they have expressed that they want to work in the company. Important is that, of course, we don't create positions for trainees. The trainees fill the positions and the vacancies that already exist. So it could be that if 40 people at the same time want to do marketing, not all 40 of them will do. So we expect the flexibility, but we also provide a lot of coaching and a lot of matching between profile of trainee and vacancy to make sure that, there is a match made in heaven.
And what's the average age of the employees?
So not just the trainees, but the office in general. I would say, I don't have the demographics, but I would say around 30. I think that's the...
I think it's 32 is the exact
32.
number. Right?
And
That's the
how
field.
do you support employees in developing new skills?
That's a great question. We do have, let's say, a structured way of training. We have a platform called University, where there's a very wide variety of trainings you can take on both soft skills, problem solving, but also hard skills, Excel and so on. And we also have in-classroom training for some of the trainings.
Yeah.
And we also have a mentorship program, which is not structured training, but of course, through your mentorship and you're sitting down with a leader of the business, which is very educational as well.
And what about your own experience in this training program?
What about the experience? It was really good for me. It was fantastic. I had an absolutely fantastic time during the program, so the 4 months and a half. I met a network of people that I will never forget, and I made very good friends. The actual training was very valuable. The people I met or the exposure that I got to the leadership was very valuable. And I think it's really a golden ticket, to be honest. So if you have the opportunity to be admitted, then don't lose it. Yeah.
And do you have any specific CSR engagements?
Yes, it's a big thing for Kraft Heinz. Our vision is to be the best food company growing a better world. So it's 50% of our vision. So you see that we want a better supply chain. We want to create a better environment, better products. Also look, what can we do with our products? And a better community. To give a bit more example around that, we have a partnership with Rise Against Hunger, which is a non-profit that wants to get the hunger out of the world. And then we have, for example, meal packaging events where we package meals and that we send to underprivileged communities. It was actually quite recent that we did that with the whole company over the whole globe. So they started in Australia and it went all the way from Amsterdam to the US. So we packed well over 1 million meals. So that's a big thing. And this thing can also be start quite small. I can make last year, one of the trainees from last year's cohort went to London, to the London office, and saw that everyone was using these paper throwaway cups. She was like, we're doing these big things on CSR, but we should do that small in the office as well. So she literally went to the VP of People and mentioned that and said, well, I even know a solution. We can give everyone reusable cups. And that's done now. And now if you go to the London office, you see that anymore. So there was also a nice example of how you, as a trainee, can also make a great impact from day one.
And in terms of opportunities, how do you stand in terms of equal opportunities?
I think equality is super important for us. I think we are very much, last year we also started the diversity and inclusion head position. We want that everyone has an equal seat on the table. I think we're working very hard. Are we there yet? No, there's still quite a bit to do. But what we in the talent acquisition space doing, we're, for example, looking at are the universities that we're going to, are they very diverse? We're going to our first LGBTQI events. We're looking how can we get more connected to ethnic minorities, but also from how can we better support women to get on the top. I think if we look at our trainee program, 55% that we hire is already women. And very recently our zone president also signed a pledge with the LEAD network that we also want to make sure that the coming years we improve the number of women in leadership positions by a significant number.
And about you, Jona, what's the better example for you to illustrate the work-life balance?
So work-life balance can mean a lot of things. So what I can talk about is the flexibility in the hours you do. And in general, we say you'll read it online. We're a lot about ownership in our company, and ownership really means I have a task and I'm accountable and responsible to deliver it. If I deliver it from my couch or if I deliver it coming late, leaving early, that should be irrelevant, right? So I would say you have the right to do whatever you want, but you need to deliver. And of course, checking with your manager, you can have flexible hours or whatever suits your schedule. Always making sure you don't hold up other people. But in general, I would say, yeah, there is a lot of flexibility and a lot of value that the company puts in work-life balance.
All right.
Yeah.
I asked too many questions, but I'm not the only one. Now this is student sports, so let's see what they want to know. Well, we received a lot of questions in our Instagram. By the way, you at home, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to send them in our Instagram at jobteaser_. First question from Ria. She wants to know what differentiates Kraft Heinz from its competitors.
Okay. Well, I haven't worked for a competitor, so I don't have, let's say, a substantial opinion about it, but I have colleagues and ex-colleagues and friends that work for competition. And through the conversations we're having, I think what we're doing better or what we're doing different is the vision that we provide the people in the sense that everything is really possible, you know. So the huge amount of opportunity that lies before you as a young and ambitious person is something that we do very different. So we don't have this structured, you need to be 2 years an associate before you become a media, before you become a senior. No, you're in the driving seat of your career. And if you're there, you have all the resources and support to make it happen. So there are really no limits.
All right. Next one from Anik. What's the maximum limit of years a person should have worked to be eligible for trainee program?
That's 1 year. So after 1 year of graduating, you can apply. If you have more, you're welcome to apply for any other job we have. But the trainee program is max 1 year.
All right. Lisa wants to know, why is this trainee program better than the others in the sector?
I don't like to say that it's better, because I don't think it's better. I can only say what's different and why you should choose for Kraft Heinz. I think as a student, it's very important to see what your fit is. We have a relatively short program. You have the 4.5 months and then you start your first job. If you like the fast-paced experience, if you like to get responsibilities very quick, if you like to be also thrown in the deep a little bit, then I think Kraft Heinz trainee program will be great for you. If not, there are many other great trainee programs out there.
All right. From Macarena, how could you define in a sentence the culture of the organization?
I will use a quote that I really like. I would say, if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
All right. We'll keep that word. From Philip, how do you feel in your daily life the benefits of working in a company like Kraft Heinz?
For me, it's the energy I get out of my job, right? It could be very personal, but I like waking up in the morning and doing the job I do. I feel good with the tasks I have to do. I feel when I deliver, they treat me very nice. When I'm challenged or I struggle, I have all the support to make it work. So I have an internal motivation to be doing what I'm doing. If I would have to look for something external as what is the benefit, I would really say the people. There are a lot of people that are the similar profile to you. So in a sense, even in your darkest days, you have a friend to work with. So I would say definitely the network.
What about your own benefits, Peter?
Your own benefits and how
in
I
your
benefit
daily
from
work and in your missions?
I think I get people is a big thing. I think the flexibility I get the company is giving me as quite a young parent as well is very valuable as well. And the responsibility I get, they really throw me in there. I was put in the head of TA functions without ever done an interview from this side of the table, and you just learn. And there are not a lot of companies that put that big bets on people. So if I look at myself now versus 3 years ago, I'm very happy with the growth professionally.
All right. Next from Jord, would it be possible for a non-commercial student like me to join this management traineeship?
Yes, I think this year, I think a little around 50% comes from a non-commercial, so non-business, international business marketing background. So the answer is definitely yes.
Well, now as experts, I guess you have tips to succeed a job interview, so we'll see that in details. All right, first question, which soft skills should they highlight during the job interview?
I think which soft skills become more and more important. One is creativity. The world is changing so fast, business is changing so fast, you need to be creative with that. Next to that, I think emotional intelligence is also quite becoming more and more important. You need to deal with people that deal with the change. So how do you deal with that? Get the empathy in their situation as well. So if I have to highlight two, it would be those two.
And simplification, I would say. It's quite important, simplification. So showing that you can do more with less is something that would help a lot.
And what about the hard skills?
Hard skills, I think a general one which is very important, analytical or problem-solving skills. I think that's a hard one. I think that you can use it anywhere in every function. Especially if you get thrown in something new, you need to be able to structure the problem and get to a solution fast. So if I need to highlight one, I would put that one.
All right. You were both interns. What's for you a good intern?
I wasn't an intern, I was a trainee, so...
Yeah, a trainee.
Okay. What is a good one? I think a passionate one, if I have to answer the question. Someone that is very ambitious and is willing to take all the resources given to them to really make it work and, get somewhere high and quite fast.
And what's your tips so they can be sure to succeed the job interview? How can they prepare themselves?
And really understand why you want to work for this company. So if you're going to Kraft Heinz, why do you want to work for Kraft Heinz? Go to the stores, look at the products, not just say, okay, it's just another trainee program. We really like to see that someone really took the time to go in there, do their research. So I think that's one. And B, I think also something I want to highlight is really be yourself. Yeah. Sometimes you say, okay, I need to have a trainee program or I need to have this first job, but be yourself. And if the company is not a match, it's not a match. This process is a two-way street. And you'll only be happy and you only can create a long-term career if you really can be yourself. Right. So that's the biggest message I want to give.
How did you prepare for the job interview?
Well, I did a lot of research on the company, obviously. I wanted to know a lot about the acquisitions that were happening. The brands, I didn't have to do a lot of search because I actually use them, right? So I didn't have to fake it that I know them and I like them and I use them. In general, I was very original because it's exactly what Peter said. Yes, I can read what Kraft Heinz wants and I can act that I'm that person. But if I'm not the person, it's going to be very painful for both sides. So I wouldn't say I prepared anything apart from that. I ate well and slept well and I was myself.
To give them some tips, what are the values of Kraft Heinz? What are the values to adhere to?
So we have 5 big values. The first one is a double value is ownership and meritocracy. I think we have covered it a little bit in the interview so far. It means that you own your career, and when you own your career and you take the appropriate steps, then meritocracy comes into play, which means they will recognize you and they will reward you with appropriate, let's say, advancement. Innovation is very important for us. We're a company that's, we're in the food industry. If you don't innovate in the food industry, you become irrelevant. Integrity is very important for us, is one of our values. Consumer first. We make a lot of decisions, but most of the decisions we make, we're always thinking of the consumer. Which one am I forgetting?
I think you're close there. Yeah.
Well, okay.
I'm okay. Maybe I'm missing one, but those are...
You talked about innovation. What's the next innovations in the market?
We actually have a lot of innovations we're working at, in my department specifically, but I'm not sure if I can talk about them. Some of them are...
Well, there's many innovations
so you can think. So if you think in the food industry as a whole, of course, the way more health conscious, we as consumers want. So I think it's a big one there. Okay, you need to go to meat-free, less sugar, less salt. I think that's...
All right.
You'll see a lot on the health platform, let's say.
Yeah. Can't wait for it. Yeah. and what about Kraft Heinz career path? What makes the career so unique, according to you?
For me, is the, as I said, the people. Usually they say great leaders don't make followers, great leaders make leaders. So one is the network, is the resources, financial but also human, that you are supported with. And you cannot expect everything from outside, right? You need to have this intrinsic motivation to do it. So what makes a great career path in Kraft Heinz is you in the core, and the things around you that can support you to get there.
All right.
I think also the different functions you can have. It's really, people go from sales to marketing. Recently, I lost my manager because she became the president for Northern Europe, but that's someone from a VP of people position that went to an actual MD positions. And there are not a lot of companies that will do that.
Yeah. Now we'll spend the last 3 minutes together. You have to convince students to join you. We'll see that in the last but not least part. So you came with a video. Let's have a look at it and then we'll comment it right after.
Kraft Heinz is all around food, and we have the most amazing brands within our portfolio, brands that have been around for generations.
The first 4 weeks are functional training on 4 different departments in London, in the UK. After that, they come to the Netherlands. After that, they split and they have a project for 10 weeks. They present their project and then they start in the department that they are assigned to.
Because the trainee scheme is 4 months as opposed to 2 years, which is quite common across other companies, that just shows how fast-paced this place is. Get learning quick, do your rotations, and then be expected to start straight away.
We started out in London, then we moved around to Milan and to the Netherlands. So there you can already feel kind of the international vibe of the company. So you have a lot of different cultures here come together. Nothing is handed to you in this company, you really have to work for it. And as long as you work for it and you perform, you get your targets, then you can move very quickly. It's totally up to you.
One of the things that's really nice about the training program is the fact that there's no set career path. The fact that you come into the business and you can do whatever you like at any stage and you can move horizontally, vertically, it really is open to you to define your own career.
Growing up, I remember eating spaghetti hoops and beans and having ketchup always on the table. And now I'm working on that brand and part of creating the long-term strategy and innovation. You just feel like anything could happen at any point and it's really exciting.
Kraft Heinz is like a sports team. You get the best people to play for you, but you still have to do it together. You're all competitive, you all want to win and you all want to be the best. But everybody realizes that to be the best food company, we need to all work together to get there. So in my first role as a trade category manager, I was going to client meetings within the first 2 months. I think in a normal company, I'd have to wait over a year to be able to do that. The biggest difference is that I'm not just expected to deliver, I'm also trusted to deliver.
Okay, well, what's that video?
So that's a video we shot last year about the training program. You can find it online. The people you see on the video are actual trainees and they're talking about their experiences and well, exactly pitching why you should apply as a young talent to this program.
All right. And then Peter, a last word. What students should join you in this training program, in this company?
Super ambitious students who really want to make the best out of the career, who likes to be challenged. I always say if you join Kraft Heinz, you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's true. And ask yourself that question when you apply. Ask yourself, am I that person? If not, again, many other amazing programs. If yes, come join us.
Right, thank you. Well, you at home, if you're interested, you can apply at kraftheinzcompany.eu or at jobteaser.com. Thank you both for being here, for all those tips. And you at home, as usual, see you very soon for a new live.